So he's, among other things, flipping a lot of this money over into funds that cost a lot more to manage. That means that taxpayers are paying more, right?
Well, academic research shows that pension funds and other institutional investors that invest in more conservative strategies, just equities, U.S. Treasury notes, the S&P 500, a simple index fund, right, that carries little to no fees, they typically outperform funds that are weighted more into the alternatives, hedge funds and private equity. So the academic research shows that it's usually a safer bet to go with a more traditional route of investing institutional money. That being said, there are other issues that are involved here. For one thing, some of these hedge fund managers that won these very lucrative contracts. I mean, with each of these contracts, which can go between $100 million a year or $100 million to $530 million. So these are huge contracts. They collect big fees, and some of these folks who won these contracts under Christie donated a lot of money to the outside spending groups that helped elect Christie, helped re-elect him. The Republican Governors Association is now the group that Christie chairs. Some of these hedge fund managers that received these contracts are continuing to give to that, even after Christie became chairman last November. So there's a connection here between Christie's political fortunes and what he's done as governor over the pension fund.
Well, is beginning to sound a little bit like Bridgegate, because now, of course, as the investigations go on in the George Washington Bridge scandal, we learn that it's starting to get into who got contracts with whom, and David Sampson is head of the Port Authority, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, are we talking now about getting the picture of a governor who's basically using the governor's mansion as a place to hand out patronage and reward his friends?
Well, it's funny you mentioned the mansion. The Huffington Post, Christie Wolke, fantastic reporter there, had a story just 2 or 3 weeks ago showing that the foundation that runs the mansion is now chaired by Christie's wife, and that many business executives that have received tax breaks in New Jersey have been donating to the governor's mansion, basically for the upkeep and how they run the place. So even the mansion has been touched by this type of cronyism, a story that's been ballooning in the last couple of months. I mean, the way that Governor Christie has managed the Port Authority, using it as a kind of Tammany Hall to reward his political friends, the allegations about how Governor Christie has used the Hurricane Sandy recovery funds. There's been quite a pattern that's been at least painted in the press that's disrupted the image of Christie that he's enjoyed in the last 4 years.